Hey, what's up everybody? Caitlin Silva here, founder of the Author Mentor, best-selling author, and my mission is helping aspiring authors to overcome block, struggle, time, any of those hurdles, and avoid the pitfalls of today's industry to successfully finish and publish their book. So welcome back to the 4-day workshop. I'm so glad that you guys are here, and I'm excited to be diving into today's content. Over the last couple of days, I hope you guys have gotten some information, some great practical ways that you can prioritize your writing and make the most of that time, especially if you've been struggling with time. And then, of course, how you can overcome writer's block if you've been struggling with that for a long time, and how you can actually dig in and get your book done. So I'm super excited about today because we're talking about your published book, and the number one thing that holds would-be authors back from taking their finished book all the way through the publishing finish line, right, and being able to address that in your own life if you've been struggling, if you have a book that is done that you have not been actually working toward publishing. And then, of course, some things to consider as you're moving through that process. So first and foremost, talking about the number one thing that holds people back from moving through the publishing process once they finish their book. So what that is it's actually overwhelm and a little bit of fear. And the reason why I say this is because in today's industry, there is so much information that it's actually too much information. There is so many resources available and lots of different people that are saying to do different things that are contradictory and that are actually counterproductive as well. And so some people say that you should follow this process. Some people say you should follow that process. And so there's a lot of information, again, that is counterproductive and also contradictory. And so people end up getting overwhelmed and trying to sort through all of that information and end up not actually taking any steps forward because they don't know which is the right step to take. And so then they're also afraid of taking the wrong step or failing or not knowing exactly what works and what is going to take them to success, to reaching the goal that they are trying to reach as authors, right? So if you've been struggling with this and this is something that you can identify with, I want to share with you how you can approach that in your own life. And so what I want to share with you is that instead of wasting time struggling and trying to figure it out and trying to sort through information and find, oh, is this right or is that right? Even being involved with other writers, sometimes those different writers can give you different information, different answers to questions or different feedback. So again, it can be hard to sort through and know exactly what works. And so what you can do is something that was extremely beneficial for me when I was embarking on this journey, and that was in taking time and seeking out the authors that were where I wanted to be and that were enjoying the success that I desired, and then learning from those people. So whether that be I would buy a book that they had written, right, and then follow that process, or investing in a program that they offered and investing in them as my mentor. And so actually doing that, having a proven system and a step-by-step system to follow, as opposed to trying to struggle and figure it out and sort through all the different information out there that, again, is overwhelming and misleading, helped me to be able to shortcut and get to success a lot faster than I would have. And now, yes, as I shared with you guys, my first book was a complete and total flop, and I went on from there to understand how much I really needed to learn. And so, yes, I have had 8 books and counting at this point, some under a pen name, and only about 3 of those have been successfully bestsellers. And so you guys can see that it did take a lot for me to learn. And I went through this long journey and process, which is why I can understand all the different struggles and the pitfalls that are out there, because I've been there. I've done that. And so that's why I'm so passionate about sharing with others and teaching what I teach and working with others in helping them to avoid those and get straight to the success from the get-go. And so what I'm sharing with y'all is that it's so important if you're struggling with overwhelm or you're not really sure what information does work. Why not, instead of spending time struggling and trying to figure it out, just invest in someone who's where you want to be, who has the success that you're desiring, that can take you step by step and show you the proven system that will work and that will actually allow you to achieve your author dreams and get the results that you want with your book more quickly than if you had years trying to figure it out, right? So that is a huge thing that you can do, is investing in yourself, investing in someone that is a mentor that can take you step by step through the proven system and show you what works, right? And so I also want to share with y'all some things to consider as you're moving through the publishing process and you're looking at publishing your book. So I've talked to so many different writers that as they're moving through the process, they're debating so many different things like, should I get a professional editor, and should I get a professional cover designer, and what exactly does that process look like, right? And I want to share with y'all that 1,000% absolutely, I believe in professional services. And the reason why is, again, going back to my initial experience with my flopped book, a huge part of that was because I had that same belief and that same mentality of, well, I'm pretty good at English, I can just figure it out, right? I can do it myself. And I did have a friend look over it, a fellow writer that was a beta reader, and she also was good at English and giving me insights. But the thing is that she was biased because she was a friend, right? And so she didn't give me the exact critical information that I really needed to hear to make the book successful and to make the book the best that it could be. And so what happened was it ended up getting published, and it was only after it was published and in print that I discovered all of these mistakes. It was devastating. I got some negative reviews. That whole thing was soured, and I had to completely start over, right? So the big learning curve for me on that was that it's so, so important to view any kind of investment with your book as an investment, right, on something that is going to give you gain and return in the future. So the best way to view it as, yes, sure, you are giving out something right now, so one step back, right, but then there is so much to gain as you're moving forward. So take, for example, the editor, since I brought that up. So if you view it in terms of the short term, yes, you might be cutting some corners and you might be saving a little bit now, but think about how much there is to lose in the long game. You could get negative reviews. Your book could sour. You could end up completely ruining your author reputation. You could completely dismally affect your book sales, right? There's so many different aspects that are negative by simply not choosing to make that investment in a professional that can help your book be the absolute best that it could be. On the flip side, sure, if you invest in a professional service like an editor, you might be, giving out something now, like I mentioned, but then there is so much to gain and return on investment in the future in the form of those great book reviews, knowing that your readers are having a really excellent experience reading your book, knowing that you're having the impact that you desire to have, knowing that you can feel confident in the material that you've put out as an author, and knowing that readers are going to become fans for life. They're going to trust you as an author, and they're going to want to read future things that you put out because what you put out is good. Does that make sense? I hope that does for you guys. So I always want anyone and all authors to view investing and in their book as not something they're losing in the short term, but rather an investment in the long game and the success of yourself as an author and in your book. Because ultimately, all books are a long game, and that's really the truth. I think so many people have this idea that the book is set in stone, right? That once it's published, that's it. And that's not true. The truth is that the book is a long game. It's never set in stone. You can always publish and make changes and edit and republish. That's why there's multiple editions, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, actually has multiple editions. So that even shows you it doesn't matter if your book has been published or not. You can always make changes, republish, and make it better. So, and even then, even if you choose not to change that one book that was published, just because you publish a book that was maybe not as great as you wanted it to at the very beginning, you can learn and you can grow and you can improve. And then the next book you come out with can be even better, right? So you can always grow and dynamically shift as an author with your books and play the long game. It never has to be, oh, I failed and that's it, right? Because as authors, it's not like you write one book and that's it and then you can never write again, right? You can always write more. You can always do more. You can always grow and improve, like I mentioned. So going back to the concept of return on investment, always view it as investing in not only your book, but also yourself as an author and your future success, because you're going to see that compounded. You're going to see it return back to you so many different ways, and it's going to be a return on investment, right? Especially as you come up with future books and you have growing fans that enjoy your work. That also applies to all aspects of the publishing process. So the editing, the cover design, getting everything really great, such as your book blurb and all of that, your formatting and making sure that aesthetically it looks great. It's the book that you always wanted to see and that you feel super confident about. And then of course also in promotions and actually investing in your book's success during launch, so it has its best chance and it can rank well, right? And then have that long-term sales and sustained momentum, so you can see that compounded over and over again with your success, not only in your book sales, but as an author and growing with your readers, right? So I hope that makes sense and gives you some things to consider as you're moving through the publishing process. I cannot recommend enough that you consider investing in yourself and in professional services with your book to set yourself up for success and give your book its best chance, so that you can see that return on investment with book sales, with yourself as an author, and all of that great stuff. So if you guys have any questions, or this doesn't make sense, or you have anything else that you would like to put in, definitely reach out to Caitlin Silva at caitlin-silva.com and let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys and learn more about you and your book and your journey and all of that great stuff. I hope you guys will be sticking around for day 4, which is tomorrow. I'm super excited to be talking about that. I'm going to be sharing about the most effective way that you can write your book, establish your author platform, and go on to publish your best-selling book. So I'm super excited for that. I can't wait to share with you guys, and I will see y'all in the video tomorrow.